volunteering is extremely important in the nonprofit sector. Pillar also does have a few volunteers, not as many as we have in the past, and that is again the sign of the times with the COVID pandemic. A lot of volunteering had to stop because a lot of volunteering involves social interaction, and during the pandemic, that was not only discouraged, it was actually illegal for unless you were an essential service. So that decline in volunteering during the pandemic had a lot of ripple effects. So volunteers went home. Sometimes in an organization that relies heavily on volunteers, they would have a person that was in charge of managing the volunteers. So with no volunteers, and with most nonprofits on a very small budget or very tight budget, and where every penny counts, if there was nobody to manage, then generally that volunteer coordinator or volunteer manager position was either like laid off or eliminated completely.
Currently, in the digital ambassadors program that we haven't noticed any decrease at all. It's all the opposite. The numbers has been really good since the moment we started this program. And recently, the recent intakes, the number has been over 80 ambassadors every intake. And this intake, we have approximately almost 90 ambassadors. Many people asked about how they can volunteer. Many students were saying, hey, how can I start joining any group, any team, anything that I can do to volunteer? That's the best way for you to introduce yourself to the community, to build relationships, to maybe get a job, because now the international students, while they're studying, they can work part-time. And one of the best way to get that part-time job is by networking, by going to fair events, but also volunteering. And they have found, and we shared, that one of the good things of volunteering, it is also having that in your resume.
I have had the opportunity to contribute with two volunteering programs. The first was in Habitat for Humanity, and the second with the Latin community. The first was not so good because I expect to create more connections with people. But in the second, finally, I could do that. Build networking, and that is so important to improve my career here in Canada.
So the library is very lucky. We receive many applications every year for volunteering with the library. I think that has to do with how many programs that we have and that we are in almost every neighborhood in the city. So people can volunteer close to home, places they can get to, and in a variety of ways because we have daytime, evening, weekend opportunities. So we are very lucky, but we're also very excited about our annual volunteer fair that is coming up this weekend. Central Library is going to be hosting over 40 different organizations who will be on site to share their current volunteer opportunities with the community.